Gravity holds everything together. What if it suddenly disappeared? For 5 brief seconds, imagine the world released from its fundamental tether. No downward pull, no sense of weight, no anchor holding us to the ground. The earth would begin to float. The air would begin to float. Every living thing would begin to float in a silent, slow-motion ballet of chaos. The familiar rules we trust would no longer apply for this short, disorienting time. A moment of unsettling freedom, a universe without one of its most critical forces. Every second of every day, gravity is working. It is the invisible force that pulls all objects with mass toward one another. On our scale, the Earth's immense mass pulls you, your home, everything around you toward its center. This is what we perceive as weight. But this force extends far beyond our immediate surroundings. The Sun's enormous gravity is what pulls the Earth and the other planets, holding them in their predictable, elliptical orbits. Without this constant tug, our planet would simply fly off in a straight line into the cold, empty darkness of interstellar space. Gravity is the celestial shepherd, guiding the cosmic dance of planets, moons, stars. This silent force is also responsible for the very air we breathe. Gravity keeps the thick blanket of our atmosphere pressed close to the ground. It prevents it from dissipating into the vacuum of space. It is the reason we have air pressure weather systems, a protective shield against solar radiation. Similarly, gravity holds the vast oceans in their basins. It prevents the trillions of tons of water from drifting away into space as a colossal, formless cloud. It shapes the flow of rivers, pulling water from the mountains down to the sea. It dictates the slow, powerful creep of glaciers. Every drop of rain falls because of gravity. If gravity were to switch off for 5 seconds, the first change would be deceptively simple and immediate. Every person and every object would instantly become weightless. If you were standing, your feet would lose contact with the floor and you would begin to float upward. The upward motion would be slow at first. Earth spins at over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Anything not bolted down would be flung tangentially, moving in a straight line as the curved Earth moves away beneath it. In 1 second, you might float about a foot or 2 upward. Inside buildings, the scene would be one of quiet pandemonium. Books, vases, picture frames would drift lazily into the room. A pot of water on a stove would become a floating, shimmering blob of liquid. People sitting in chairs would find themselves and their furniture rising toward the ceiling. Cars, trains would be tossed about as the vehicles themselves lifted from the road or tracks. Seatbelts would suddenly become the only thing preventing passengers from being thrown violently against the interior of the cabin. The world would transform into a zero-gravity chamber, with loose items becoming potential projectiles. The human body's immediate reaction would be one of utter confusion. Your sense of balance, managed by the vestibular system in your inner ear, would be lost. This system uses tiny, gravity-sensitive crystals to tell your brain which way is down. Without that input, you would feel a profound sense of vertigo and disorientation, similar to what astronauts experience during their first hours in space. Your blood, no longer pulled downward, would shift toward your upper body and head, creating a sensation of fullness in your face and sinuses. For a mere 5 seconds, this would be uncomfortable, but likely not life-threatening for most healthy individuals. The planet's vast bodies of water would react dramatically to the absence of gravity. The force that holds the oceans within their basins would be gone. Water, no longer pulled downward, would begin to lift from the Earth's surface. Due to surface tension, the water would not instantly atomize into a fine mist. Large sections of the ocean's surface would begin to bulge, rise, breaking apart into colossal, free-floating globules of water. Waves would lose their shape. The entire surface of the sea would start to drift upward, outward, propelled by the Earth's rotation. Similarly, our atmosphere would no longer be bound to the Earth. The air we breathe is a fluid, just like water. Gravity is what gives it density and pressure. Without that pull, the atmosphere would immediately begin to expand and drift away into the vacuum of space. The air at sea level would rush upward, creating a momentary, silent, planet-wide wind blowing straight up. In just 5 seconds, the atmosphere would expand significantly, causing a drastic drop in air pressure at the surface. Breathing would become difficult, if not impossible, for those at high altitudes. The visual spectacle would be breathtaking and terrifying. Imagine looking at the horizon and seeing the ocean curve upward into the sky, breaking into immense, continent-sized droplets. From space, the Earth would look as if it were shedding its blue skin. The atmosphere would become a rapidly expanding cloud of gas, its edges blurring into the blackness of space. Clouds would lose their defined shapes and begin to dissipate, their water content joining the mass exodus of air, moisture leaving the planet's surface. The world would briefly look like it was dissolving from the outside in. The real devastation would occur when gravity switched back on. Life on Earth is fundamentally and intimately tied to the constant presence of gravity. Every living organism has evolved within this unyielding framework. From the smallest bacterium to the largest blue whale, plants exhibit gravitropism. Roots grow downward to find water, to find nutrients. Stems grow upward to reach for sunlight. This orientation is critical for survival. In a world without gravity, even briefly, this guidance system would fail. Over time, plant life would not function as we know it. For animals, including humans, gravity is the force our bodies resist. Skeletons give rigid support. Muscles produce force to move us against gravity. That constant workload keeps bone density and muscle tone. Astronauts on long missions lose bone and muscle mass. A 5-second lapse wouldn't cause that, but it reminds us we're tuned to 1G. Internally, many processes rely on gravity: circulation of fluids, settling of particles within cells, shape of cells and tissues. The heart moves fluids without gravity, yet systems work best with gravity. Visualize those 5 seconds like a held breath for the entire planet. The injuries and damage happen not in the float, but in the fall. Gravity is invisible, but without it, life collapses. Subscribe to Bright Mind Facts for more science explained simply.